Houari BOUMEDIENE, a revolutionary name etched in the memory of Algerians. He is Mohamed Boukarouba, born on August 23, 1932, in Douar Beni Adi, Ain El Hassaniya municipality, 15 kilometers west of the city of Galma. His father was Haj Ibrahim bin Abdullah bin Saadi Boukarouba, and his mother was Tunis Bouhazila, of Amazigh origin. Thus, Houari BOUMEDIENE was a genuine symbol of Arab-Amazigh fusion. He grew up with a religious upbringing under the care of his parents, from whom he inherited a fervent and sincere patriotism from a young age. At the age of 4, he joined a Quranic school, where he memorized the Quran by the age of 10. He lived deeply connected to and rooted in the land of his ancestors, growing up amidst the mountainous nature that surrounded him. He was known for his good morals and dedication at the primary school where he studied religious sciences and the Arabic language. He also attended a French school where he learned French. In addition, he taught children the Quran. From a young age, he was recognized for his brilliance and intelligence, possessing a strong memory, and had a love for history and reading historical events and occurrences. Houari BOUMEDIENE participated in the May 8, 1945 demonstrations, along with most of his family members, where he was shot in his left leg. He was deeply affected by the events of May 8, 1945, during which his city was one of the 3 cities that suffered massacres. He witnessed the random destruction of villages and the mass killing of his people. These events shaped the character of this heroic revolutionary against French colonialism. When he was called up for military service, Houari BOUMEDIENE refused to join the ranks of an army that killed, tortured, and displaced his people, so he decided to go to Egypt. The journey was long and fraught with dangers. He sold everything he had, his bed and blanket, and then headed with his companions to Tunisia in 1949, and then to Cairo in 1950, traveling on foot. During 3.5 months, they covered a distance of 4,500 kilometers. Only his companion Ibn Sharuf completed the journey with him, while the others returned home. In Cairo, the student Boukarouba found himself amidst a large assembly of thinkers, writers, and politicians. He enrolled at Al-Azhar University and divided his time between studying and reading newspapers and political magazines. He was passionate about reading the reports of war correspondents in the newspapers Al-Aram and Al-Akhbar and closely followed the news of battles in Vietnam. He admired the heroism of leaders like Ho Chi Minh, Diab, and others from that era. He lived under difficult conditions in Cairo and was in need of money, especially since the French authorities prevented his father's financial support from reaching him. The French embassy even requested the Egyptian government to expel him. But the Free Officers' Revolution did not comply with this request. Despite all these hardships, he excelled in his studies at Al-Azhar. When the November Revolution broke out in 1954, he was still a student in Cairo. He followed the events closely and was eager to join the ranks of the Liberation Army. He, along with some of his colleagues, joined an Egyptian military training base, where he spent 3 months. He then received a commendation medal as one of the top graduates in his cohort. His first mission was to lead a team and command a ship carrying 13 tons of weapons, and he successfully navigated the ship to western Algeria, where he was received by Larbi Ben Midi, the regional commander, and his deputy, Abdelhafid Boussouf. This significantly bolstered the revolution in western Algeria. His strong personality and courage led him to rise to several revolutionary responsibilities. He was appointed as the deputy to the political leader of western Algeria, Larbi Ben Midi, then became an assistant to Boussouf, the commander of the 5th Wilaya, in 1957. He then became a colonel at the age of 24 and the chief of staff for the Western region in 1958. In 1962, he became the Minister of Defense in the independence government, and in 1963, he became the Vice President of the Revolutionary Council. On June 19, 1965, he became the President of the Algerian state. Houari BOUMEDIENE embodied all the qualities of strength. He walked to Egypt on foot, resisted poverty, succeeded at Al-Azhar, and earned military positions with merit. He was known as a historic leader, and rightly so, for he once said, "The state does not vanish with the demise of men." The state founded by Houari BOUMEDIENE was a steadfast and resilient fortress in the face of all dangers. He laid its strong foundations, taking swift and bold steps in the phase of building and construction. He established popular councils and drafted a constitution for the state. In the economic field, he nationalized hydrocarbons and initiated agricultural and industrial revolutions, as well as a cultural one. Additionally, he provided free health care, democratized education, built the Green Dam, and accomplished many other achievements that remain evident to this day. On the international stage, he was a formidable leader who stood with people striving for self-determination. He was a leader for Africa and the Arab nations and called for a new international order to achieve global peace and security. Houari BOUMEDIENE fell ill unexpectedly in the summer of 1978, and it was discovered that he had contracted a strange disease. The national leader passed away on December 27, 1978, and was buried in El Aalia Cemetery. His death shook all of Algeria and the entire world. His funeral was a historic day for Algerians. And so men may die, but nations and states remain, standing tall like their mountains.